pleased to be joined by Smacker Miles, the daughter of Les Miles. Now, I have to ask you, how did it feel when Les would come in here and give us updates on the families, on all you guys' various sporting endeavors over the summer months? He gave us basically a rundown of his summer with his children.
Yeah, he did. So I actually never got to come because I was swimming my whole life. So I just graduated at Texas. Now I'm done. So that's why I get to be here. But my brothers would always be busy too. So we would kind of get random texts from friends saying, hey, I heard that you did this summer.
Right.
I heard your family, or I heard your dad. So it always made me laugh that randomly I would get texts from people who I hadn't heard from in a while that had gotten the family update.
Yeah, that's awesome. How does your dad feel knowing that you're now kind of in the media, and sometimes there's an adversarial relationship between the coach and the media? Is he pretty supportive that you're doing media?
He's very supportive, yeah. I've always wanted to do it, so he's tried to set me up and get in contact with good people and help me out the whole way. So I'm really trying to convince him to do media now.
Right.
Yeah, so I would love to work with him, but I think he still really wants to coach.
Yeah, now he did some stuff during the bowl season for ESPN, right?
Yes, he did, and he did some high school signing day stuff.
Yeah. But his aspirations are still to get back into coaching.
Absolutely. Yes.
Can you break any news for us? Where is he going to coach next?
I can't break news. For me, it's just about him being happy.
Yeah.
So I want him. If he wants it, then I want it for him. But
Yeah.
I don't need it personally. So
Right.
I'm excited for him and just patiently waiting to see where the next step will be and
Yeah.
making sure he's happy and making
Yeah.
sure we're good for the fam.
Yeah, I think sometimes fans and media lose perspective that there are real families
Yes.
behind these coaches. What's it like to grow up? I mean, it's not like you were at Ball State. I mean, you're at LSU in Oklahoma State, places where people intensely care and they're going to judge. And does it put pressure on your family? I mean, did you go out of your way not to read stuff about your dad?
I think there's definitely pressure, yeah. And I think that the thing for us was that my parents expected so much from us that even like the outside public couldn't really expect more from us than my family would. And, it's really surprising because you find out a lot about people, obviously, when things are different. But honestly, my family's had a great time living in Baton Rouge recently because they were good to people and never abused the power or never took advantage of anyone. So honestly, like not too much has changed in Baton Rouge it's now my sister and my mom and my dad still there.
Yeah.
But they've done fine and people have been really kind to the Miles family, so we're very thankful.
That's good. You grew up with social media. Did you
Yes.
have to, when he was coaching, tell yourself not to read it? I mean, just because.
I absolutely told myself not to, but
Yeah.
sometimes you read it anyways.
Did you ever go after
So-
anyone and say, "Leave my dad alone"? or?
I've never gone after anyone on social media, but if I get it in person, I will absolutely defend him.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where like I feel like I know more and I believe in him more, and I feel like I know better because
Right.
I'm closer to him. So I've argued it in person, but not on social media. I feel like it's not worth it when
Yeah.
you don't even know the person, and
Right.
the person might not have any, like they don't have followers and they don't have any reason, they don't have any authority to talk to
Right.
you that way, or maybe they're not. I mean, typically the people who are saying bad things aren't having as much success as he's had. And
Right.
so honestly, like I always kept that in perspective, that the person tweeting at me, I don't know what they do, or
Right.
I don't know what their dad does.
Right.
So that's fine with me.
Did your dad or your mom purposely tell you not to engage on social media? Or is that something they even broached with you?
He had social media people come in for the team at one point, and they had the social media people follow our accounts as well. And so they preach the importance of representing yourself well on social media, like far before really that was even a major thing. And so we've always been good on it, but to me, I just know better. In my heart, it's not worth it to argue with someone I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Talking to Smacker Miles, the daughter of former LSU coach Les Miles. Obviously, you were around some great teams in a great atmosphere. Any memories that stick out? Cool things that you got to be a part of and kind of witness?
Yes, there's been quite a few. We really were blessed. It was a long, successful 12 years, and so the national championship, obviously, we had been there a couple years, so I was 12 or 13, And I remember so much about that day and just being in awe and not really realizing how big the stage could even get. And so seeing him up there with the crystal ball was unreal. And then there's been so many family times. Like honestly, some of the best memories are after a big win and we go home and we're all raiding the house for snacks and standing around the island, and I'm asking my dad, why did you do this? And that fake was awesome. And what's the fake for next week? And those kind of things are some of the best memories where it's just the family, because those, like, the players in the family and my family are the people that matter most. And so honestly, those are the people that haven't given us criticism. You know, I always felt like the players played hard for him and loved him, and that is something that I valued a whole lot.
Yeah. Is he as funny at home as he was in press conferences?
He's just as funny and has just as many fun facts. He is the doctor of our family, the teacher of our family, the mathematician, you name it, he is it. But at the same time, he got this quirky persona.
Right.
And I don't see him that way, if I'm being honest, because he is such a fiery competitor.
I've heard.
And has a poker face unlike anyone else. And so I just see the fire in him and the long hours he works and how badly he wants to win. And I'm shocked he can even hide it that well on the sideline, because I'm in the stands screaming, and I know that in his heart he wants it as bad as any of the coaches yelling and ripping someone apart.
Now, Alabama has a history with LSU, and it was against Alabama in 2010 where he first ate grass. What was that about?
You know, I didn't know. I really didn't know at first. And I think he's a little bit superstitious, so I think it had a lot to do with that. I think he was bending down to tie his shoe, and so it just happened. And I know for a fact that he did not intend for it to get caught. So it really spiraled out of control in the media after that. But we laugh about it, but it's not even really uncharacteristic of Dad to do something like that.
Yeah. Now, how did the family feel about Alabama? There was such an intense rivalry. Oftentimes when they played, the winner would go to the national championship game or was going to win the SEC. Does your family hate Alabama?
Oh.
Your silence speaks volumes.
That's a good question. So I have definitely, I'm going to answer for myself because I feel like that's most appropriate.
Sure.
So I've had my times definitely with just feeling rage for Alabama and just wanting to win so badly. But my dad has never been anything but respectful about it. I mean, he, like I said, he's a fiery competitor and he wanted to win. And I can tell you he prepared for that game every single year as harder than any other game.
Yeah.
So seeing that and seeing his work and seeing how bad he wanted it makes us want it too.
Yeah.
But me and my little sister, the 14-year-old, seem to be like Dad's biggest offenders.
Yeah.
My brothers kind of just are such football minds and they play themselves that they kind of keep it in perspective.
Right.
But me and Macy are the ones that are we are ready to defend and cheer and give it our all too.
Yeah.
So no, I would honestly say no, not at all, and especially not now.
Yeah.
We respect Nick Saban, and I mean, you can't not. The work he's doing there, it's not only LSU that he's beaten some recently, and so I mean, he's up there with the legends of the legends. So no, not at all. Especially not now.
I remember sitting in the press box following the 2011 game that LSU had won in Bryant-Denny Stadium. And I remember, I don't know if you were there or not, but there was a moment after the game, an hour, maybe 30 minutes or an hour after the game, where he looked like his family. He was like hugging on the field at Bryant-Denny. I just remember thinking, oh, what a cool moment that'd be for a dad to share the game of the century with his family. I thought that was really cool.
Yes. So many. I actually wasn't at that game. I was in Jacksonville, Florida, swimming, but I was watching it. That was unreal. I don't need the atmosphere to get into it.
Right.
But yes, there were so many times where we got to see him on the field or embrace him after, and those are really, really special times.
Yeah.
And I always being at the walk was a huge family tradition of ours. He did not appreciate if we weren't there. So
Really?
he wanted to see us before, and then seeing him after and going to the press room, and those are special moments.
Yeah, wrapping up here with Smacker Miles, the daughter of former LSU coach and future coach somewhere else, Mr. Les Miles. Do you want to be a sideline reporter? Do you know what discipline in media that you want to work?
I would love to do sideline, but my dream job is to have a show called Smack Talk.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, and so I just want to talk about really more stories behind the player, more than like the 40 time. That doesn't interest me quite as much. So I like to tell any story. I want to talk about controversies. I want to talk about feel-good stories. I love feel-good stories. Even if it's not a player, what they do on the field, if they're doing something special outside of that, or in an awesome major, or if there's a scandal in recruiting, I want to say why I don't think coaches should do that. And so I really am interested in those stories.